Up until playing Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on the Sega Genesis for the first time, I was a Nintendo kid. Safe to say, I never looked back. While we're a year and a half away from Sonic the Hedgehog's 30th anniversary, the franchise still remains one of the most enduring series in gaming. However, the Blue Blur's legacy isn't without trials, tribulations, and major setbacks. Not just games that are critically and commercially hated, mind you, but also falling victim to its own success. And no, I'd rather not discuss the negative side of the Sonic fanbase or any fandom, especially after witnessing, well, this.
Case of Paradise, really?
Gotta go fast.
This is not as promised. This was not meant to be!
Now let's be realistic here. Except for Jim Carrey's signature comedy, I took no pleasure in watching, let alone reacting to the first trailer. As much as I love video games and movies, the chances of a commercially successful film based on a video game will most likely be hit or miss, ranging from watchable guilty pleasures to shameless cash grabs. And even as a Sonic fan, for as long as it exists, I had little faith in the Sonic movie. Fast forward a few months later, with some much needed damage control, including a delayed theatrical release and a completely redesign for Sonic, even I was convinced that improvements were made. Putting aside my previous doubts about the movie and refraining from watching later trailers and TV spots, I decided to check out the film on opening night. Long story short, Sonic, as depicted in the film, was a young hedgehog from another world who escaped to Earth in the fictional town of Green Hills, Minnesota. After accidentally tapping into his power, causing a power outage throughout, Sonic became the target of the US government and enlisted the services of the ingenious, yet very arrogant, Dr. Igor Robotnik, played by Jim Carrey, whose resume needs no summarizing. Nowhere on the run, Sonic meets Tom Wachowski, a local sheriff played by James Marsden, who idolized him from afar prior to being at the receiving end of Tom's bear tranquilizer gun out of panic. As a result, Sonic lost the power rings in a ring pole that leads to San Francisco before their encounter with the energetic and very erratic Robotnik. Both on the run, both Sonic and Tom travel to the Golden City to retrieve his power rings before the climactic third act. While the film's first act primarily focused on Sonic's origins, Tom's relationship with his wife Maddie, played by Tika Sumpter, and everything that led to the comedic second act, is built up in the final act where the movie really shines. The friendly dynamic between Sonic and Tom has some similarities, or rather cliches, with that of E.T. Extraterrestrial and Mac and Me. Believe me, I'm surprised that movie even existed, let alone remember it. But what separates Sonic the Hedgehog from those movies is that the bond between the two characters is humorous as it is endearing, but it's size of cringe. Now, contrary to the main iterations of Sega's mascot, I enjoy Ben Schwartz's performance as Sonic. While he's no Brian Drummond, Julia White, or Roger Craig Smith, Schwartz really captures Sonic's attitude in his own way, from his hyperactivity to his knowledge of pop culture. Sounds familiar?
Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog.
While his chattiness can get repetitive at first, it soon rubs off on me as it's a part of the character. While the movie showcased the cinematic adventure of Sonic the Hedgehog and Tom, Jim Carrey's performance as Dr. Robotnik really had me laughing more than I wanted to admit. As someone who grew up watching Jim Carrey way back when A Living Color was on the air, that's saying a lot. It's also safe to say that Carrey still got it and brought the same high level of sanity he is known for in the 90s. While Carrey is no stranger to playing a mad scientist, he really shines as Robotnik with a mix of both silly and sinister. As the early games for console generations pass, the special effects are as bright and colorful as Sonic himself. Though some of these special effects were more cartoonish than mind-blowing, especially the super slow motion scenes. I'm not sure if it's intentional on the special effects team's part, or a reference to Sonic's time break from that weekend everybody and their mama hates. Still, it's a minor issue compared to the action-packed final act where the special effects, with an Easter egg or several, are as ridiculous, as in ridiculously amazing. Unfortunately, I can't say any more for those who haven't seen the movie, but for those who are planning on seeing it, trust me, you won't be disappointed. Now, I've seen my share of field game movies growing up. While many game-based movies have an infamous reputation, with the exception of a very few, Sonic the Hedgehog surprisingly exceeds my expectations. Despite a slow start after the beginning, with a few cringy moments, the movie really picks up throughout with Sonic's vibrant presence, chattiness aside, robotics antics, and a few supporting characters to provide the more heartwarming moments. Well, except for one part, but I'm not going to spoil it. Overall, this may be the best movie based on the field game I've seen in years. And that is saying a lot. While I grew up on different versions of the fastest thing alive, from the games, TV shows, and comics, I learned over the years it doesn't really matter which is the best Sonic game, or cartoon, or TV show, or comic, or the best version of the character in general. As long as it's Sonic and as long as it's entertaining, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. This version of Sonic is no exception to the rule. What began was pure doubt as the film was announced, to see it in theaters with some friends. I say it's safe to say that those doubts are finally put to rest. It's not just a watchable movie based on the video game, but it's a must watch and I highly recommend it. Hey everybody, if you like this video and if you want to see more, be sure to give it a like and share it with all your friends and family. And if you want to see more from ADtheTribalChild, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching everybody. This is the one and only ADtheTribalChild. Keep it locked and I'll see you all next time.